Bruce Pritchard and another one of the writers, and God, I forgot his name. I can't believe I forgot this guy's name. It'll come back to me. But I was standing there, and this guy that I was like barely an acquaintance with grabs the string of like my sweatpants as I'm walking by. And like nobody, like I wasn't even looking at him, you know, and I looked down the hall and I was like, I don't know if I can swear on this. Are you gonna believe me? It's a quote, okay? But this guy grabs the string of my sweatpants and nobody else reacts as if this is abnormal. And he grabs it and he starts going down the hall and I'm just like, what the was that? Like, why are you grabbing the string of my sweatpants? If my husband was standing here next to me, would you feel comfortable like walking up to me and grabbing the string of my sweatpants? And nobody around me acted like as if it was abnormal. Like they're like all the guys around me were just like, you know, this is part of the day. And I'm like, if this guy is coming up to me and doing this kind of stuff to me when there's other people around, like what's happening to these other girls when it's not in a hallway or something like that? So that really put me on an edge to like, not only is this like behavior prevalent, but it's so prevalent that people don't even realize it's a problem anymore.
Who was this guy?
Dude, I swear to God, I know exactly what he looks like, and I completely am blanking on his name. Is this part of my concussion test? Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak. That's who it was. Yes. Yeah, I went and confronted him later, and I was like, if I ever hear about you putting, like, your hands on any other woman like this or doing anything like this to me ever again, we're going to have I'm editing myself, all the swear words out, but we're going to have a problem. And he was like, no, you know, I'm glad that you said something to me. He's really, like, backpedaled and everything like that, but it just put a really sour taste in my mouth about the culture there and what's considered acceptable and how to touch and treat the women in the hallways and anywhere, but backstage. Drew Gulak has this new gimmick where he's auditioning for new roles and he's constantly getting fucked up. So, like, I think last show he was like an interviewer and then Charlotte put him in a figure eight. This time he's the assistant to the contract signing and I put him in an arm bar. And then the next she's the timekeeper on the speed submission challenge and Charlotte loses, so then she goes and puts him in her new dragon sleeper hold because he's did the timekeeping and she lost. And he was auditioning as the new timekeeper. At first I'm like, why are they disrespecting Drew like this? And now I'm like, you know what, this is actually really funny and I think he's gonna get super over with this.
Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. This is your host, MagMongoSlade. Today we're going to talk about Ronda Rousey and Drew Gulak and their interactions thereabouts. So Ronda Rousey goes on News Nation. She has to admit that Vince McMahon never did anything to her and she never saw anything, but she must stay relevant and she's got a book to sell and she needs something to talk about if she's going to be on this TV screen. She tells a story about a backstage situation in which Drew Gulak either put his hand down her pants or grabbed the drawstring of her sweatpants as he was walking by. And she felt like this was so inappropriate and nobody did anything. This was in full view of everybody and nobody did anything. And you know me, I believe all women. So I looked it up and I saw that Ronda Rousey in 2022 from April to like September was doing vlogs and doing interviews and Q&As where she put over Drew Gulak and, you know, having fun working with him. And she pitched him to be involved with the WrestleMania Backlash feud between her and Charlotte. And I was like, that's interesting. So it must have been happening at some point, you know, either in late 2022 or 2023 or before she left or something to that effect, that she all of a sudden fell out with Drew Gulak. And all of a sudden, he was the guy who grabbed her. You know, the most dangerous woman in the world, a woman whose husband is backstage pretty much every time she performs. Yeah, you grab that woman. The woman who totally can beat up Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, he grabbed that woman. One of the highest profile female athletes on the roster, he grabbed that woman. Now, Drew Gulak hasn't done much of anything in WWE. Not on screen anyway. Backstage, he was one of the trainers for Bad Bunny. He was one of the trainers for Logan Paul. He's helped train Sasha Banks. He's helped train a lot of guys. That's mostly what his job is that he's a coach / trainer. You know, he works occasionally, but mostly that's what he does. He's a small enough fish where this thing won't matter. If they get rid of him, it won't matter. But he's also so small, and what he's done is so very little, that this now dominates his life. You know, now he's the guy who put his hands on Ronda Rousey, you know, and that sucks. That really sucks for him. It doesn't help that apparently people are talking about his brother getting into some situations. I'm not going to discuss that because it has nothing to do with Drew Gulak. What does have something to do with Drew Gulak, however, is apparently he's not a good friend of Cody Rhodes. Apparently, I don't know when this occurred, but there was a lot of talk, since Drew Gulak's name is in the media now, that him and Cody had an incident at an autograph signing where he accused Cody Rhodes of bribing fans with pizza to come into his line. And, you know, so Cody thinks that he sucks and all this kind of stuff. But we also don't know how old that thing is. It could have been 6 years old, 7 years old. Drew Gulak has been in WWE for quite a while. He's been in WWE since, 2015 maybe? So he's coming up on almost 10 years in WWE. And we don't know when that incident occurred. So we don't know whether, you know, it's legit or not, or if that heat is still there or not. But totally 100% Drew Gulak grabbed Ronda Rousey inappropriately, and nobody did anything. You know, apparently this happened in full view of everybody. You know, one of your highest paid, highest profile female talents was groped in front of everybody, and nobody did anything. Not likely, but we're believing all women here. That's what we do. We believe all women. We don't doubt that these things occurred. We're not saying that she was on TV just to sell a book. That's not what we're saying here. We're not saying here that if somebody violated you, you would definitely be able to remember their name. I'm not saying that if you work for somebody and you actually pitched him to be a part of your angle, you certainly knew who he was, and you certainly would remember his name, and you certainly would remember his name if he grabbed you inappropriately. Oh, but no, she didn't remember. What was his name again? You know, the guy that you pitched to be a part of your big WrestleMania angle. You don't remember what his name is now. Oh, okay, sure. Okay. We believe all women over here. You know, for the record, I'm going on record. I believe all women. You gotta give me something to work with, Rhonda. It can't be that you're just trying to sell a book. It can't just be that you didn't see Vince McMahon do anything. You probably didn't even hear about it, but you want to be this over the top feminist, and you want to be, I'm a victim too. I'm just like you girls. Huh. And if it happened to me, just imagine what happens to other people. Okay. We never heard this stuff about Drew Gulak before, and he's worked with quite a few women. There's pictures of him rolling around with Sasha Banks. Never heard about him behaving inappropriately with women before. And when he decides to do this, he decided to do this on the highest paid, most high profile female athlete in WWE. Okay. Believe all women. Believe all women. Even if this incident likely didn't occur, even if this incident, if it did occur, might be getting blown out of proportion, doesn't matter. You have to believe all women. Fire Drew Gulak. Fire Drew Gulak because Cody doesn't like him. Fire Drew Gulak because his brother did something in the past at some point that we know about. That's why you fire him. You get rid of him so you don't have to deal with any headaches. And she wants to talk about, it's WWE's corporate culture. It's the culture. Okay. Sure. Believe all women. That's all. I'm just going to keep saying it. You need to believe all women so that you can fully immerse yourself in what being a male feminist is all about. Is you don't think about things. You don't ask any questions. You just believe all women. Women don't lie about these things unless they do. They don't exaggerate unless they're doing so. And there's certainly no profit motive in Ronda Rousey doing this. And since she has continuously said she's not going back, why does she care about Drew Gulak and his career and his family or anything like that? Why would she care? You know, she can just go ahead and burn everything that he's, you know, worked for. This guy, again, 20 years in the business, over. You know, everything that he knows how to do is pro wrestling related. He opened up a school in 2023. You know, he worked in WWE. If he gets outed as being some kind of sexual abuser or something like that, his entire career is over. Everything that he's worked for 20 years is over. What is he going to go do? You know, make sandwiches at Panera Bread? What is he going to do with his life? But we're not asking those questions. We just believe all women. That's what we do. That's the right thing to do. Just believe all women. You believe that this woman who is a black belt in judo and can fight legitimately, you know, didn't do anything. The woman who said she could beat up Floyd Mayweather, you know, with her husband is like, what, 6'7" or something like that, you know, some crazy like that, and he's always around. And no, it's just, you know what, believe all women. That's what we're saying here. Don't ask any questions. High profile female talent, worth tons of money. Anything she says gets a ton of attention. She was a celebrity before she came to WWE, and she was groped by an underneath guy backstage in full view of Triple H and Bruce Pritchard, who did nothing to help her. If you believe that story, you're a fucking idiot. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.
MagMongoSlade. Best house I ever drew, Daddy.